Wow, here we are, 3 years later. 80,000 views, 795 subscribers who I want to thank personally for subscribing. Unfortunately, we need more subscribers so we can have YouTube reactivate my account again. And another reason to subscribe is that when these new hive Beetle Barriers 2.0 are installed, I'm going to use an inspection camera to show inside the hive how the bees are reacting to it. So that should be kind of interesting. And I'm going to do that every 2 weeks, and it's going to be called Inside the Hive Beetle Barrier 2.0. So that'll be coming out every 2 weeks. But anyway, what I have found is that there was a flaw in the original design and also a flaw in the material. What is happening is that with the thousands and thousands of forager bees coming and going, and they're crawling over the Neverwet coated barrier, they're leaving small deposits of wax, propolis, pollen, dirt, and it's contaminating the Neverwet surface. And another thing that the bees are doing with their hive cleaning instinct is they're reacting to the Neverwet coating and actually removing it. This is the original coating. It's a frosty color. This right here, the bees have completely removed the Neverwet coating. And you can see on almost all of them where they've chewed it from the outer edge inward. This one right here is the entrance one, and they have cleaned it off right to the aluminum. So I had to come up with a way to counteract what they're doing, crawling over the strips, and also a stronger material. So as they say, it's out with the old and in with the new. All my coated strips, no longer the original Neverwet. Even though it worked, it's just not strong enough, so we're not using that anymore. We're switching over to the new Neverwet industrial coating. Now the reason Neverwet stated to me why the spray can didn't hold up as well is that when they went to thin it in order to put into a spray can, it weakened it. This industrial stuff is made for conveyors, mixing equipment, snow equipment, everything that's going to come into a lot of contact. Now, excuse me, I spray it on with this little cheapy $10 gun from Harbor Freight, and I am shocked how well this thing works. I've handled a lot of spray guns in my time, and I was very happy with this one. Simple to use. You got the fan adjustment, your fluid adjustment, and your air adjustment. But for $10, it's worth 3-4 times more than that. Now, the Neverwet Industrial is pricey. $238 for a 2-part kit. So what I suggest is getting 8 people, each chipping in $30 or $15 per pint, $30 for 2, and buying it, then splitting it up into pint cans. Now make sure you use the epoxy coated cans so there won't be any reaction with the Neverwet to the can. Now also a new way to install it is from a guy named Bob J. at Seaside Apiaries in Quincy, Massachusetts. He offered this idea, and it works much better than my staple idea by a long shot. All you do is use painter's tape. You do it so it's sticky side out, wrap it around. You can place your strips on extremely close, and I'll also put an extra piece of tape with a 1/4 inch staple just to keep it from flopping up and down. So you've got your strips coated. The next step is to cut out 2-inch wide, 1/8 inch hardware cloth strips. Do yourself a favor, if you're going to do a lot, make yourself some templates. The short one for me is 2-inch by 14 inch. The longer one is 2-inch by 18 1/4 inch. You put your strips down first on your 3/4 inch rim that you're going to make. You got your hardware cloth on. Now you're going to attach your coated strips. Now all you have to do is take it and gently bend it upwards at an angle. And I'll show you what that's going to do in just a moment. If you've got any puckers from your staples, don't be afraid to hammer them down just so everything is smooth. This one screw right here is 1 5/8", and that is to hold pressure against the center of the rim using your entrance board to hold pressure against it so it won't warp. So now you've got your strip. You're going to place it onto your bottom board. Now if you notice, the strip is covered now, the coated strip with the hardware cloth. And the hardware cloth is angled downwards, and you want about 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch gap. So now what I'm hoping and I'm expecting is that as the bees are entering, they're going to be climbing underneath the hardware cloth to get up into the entrance, but they're going to be coming in contact with the angled 1/8 inch hardware cloth, climbing up into the hive, leaving the strip alone, or have minimal contact with it. And that's what that little screw does. It just holds pressure up. So now, oh, and this hole right here is for the new Inside the Hive beetle camera. It's going to be shoved in on the top and shoved in on the bottom so everybody can see how the bees are reacting to these new barriers. So now you've got your rim made, you've got your hardware cloth mounted, your strips mounted on your rim. Place your rim down, take your hive body, put that on. Now another thing I wanted to do was make it so your rim can be removable. And what I did was came up with this idea. These are just 1-inch stainless steel screws. This is, I got this from Amazon, artesian wire. It's 20 gauge. It's a soft stainless steel. So now all you've got to do is take it, wrap it around in a figure 8, and that's it. And once you've got all 4 down, it will hold just as well as hive staples. And they won't rust. So one thing that I do when I'm making these is I make mine 14 inches long, make a 1-inch loop on it. Just hold the loop with a pair of pliers. You've got a little eyelet with a screw. Put it in. Just turn it slowly. Makes a perfect eyelet each time to put your screw through. Like that. So now, one thing that you have to always remember is that you need to seal the hive. You can't just use the strips and expect the hive beetles aren't going to get in. So with my system, as I've shown you before, both sides of the queen excluder have polypropylene tape on it, or polyethylene. From there you've got your honey super. So these parts are sealed. Same thing with, I make my own screen tops, and what I'll do is put down a layer of window screen, then a layer of 1/8 inch hardware cloth. You can't just use window screen because, as you can see, the bees will build up on it, and if you go to raise up the top, that window screen will just get sucked right in and you'll lose it. So that's it. That's the new Beetle Barrier. Subscribe and you'll see all the new videos with the camera going in and looking around. All I can say is hopefully this will do the trick, and have a good day and good luck with your bees.